Baby, can't you see that we were meant to be?
What's going on, guys? Love Machine is back with a 100 kill specialist gameplay. This is my best gameplay to date. In fact, I have never actually gotten a 100 kill game. Assault, in Modern Warfare 3, in Modern Warfare 2, in Black Ops. So I really feel like I'm turning a corner in my gaming career, as gay as that sounds. So guys, if you could please leave a like. I'm going to go for more of these games. I promise you guys I'm going to be bringing you the best content I can possibly bring you. So let's get on to this game. So in this game, I'm using a silenced rapid-fire P90 with extreme conditioning, quick draw, and steady aim. And honestly, guys, the demise of this game, in my eyes, is not using Scavenger to start. I really should have started with Scavenger, not so I could pick up ammo faster, but so I could start off with more ammo. Because there are parts in this game where I have to swap to my secondary, which is oddly a pistol. I don't know why I was using that, but it was a tack knife P99, and I don't know why I had that on, but that's not an ideal secondary if you're running ground war, especially if you're charging spawns like I was. So you really do want to run Scavenger off the start, or if you're running extreme conditioning, then you have to run extended mags, because as you guys know, you'll start out with more ammo if you use extreme conditioning on your class. Another thing that you guys need to know is, one thing is great about extreme conditioning is right off the spawn, I was able to charge right in there. So sometimes it spawns you cross map, and extreme conditioning will get you in there ASAP. So I was running a beeline every time right for their spawn, because I knew that these guys weren't very good. There was one kid on the other team who was pretty competent, but you know, I kept knocking him around, so I didn't feel like he was that big of a threat. So I was just charging straight in there, trying to shove some bullets up their vaginas, you know. And some of these clips in this game, like, if I had just pulled it off, I would have got a Moab, I would have had way more kills. And the funny thing is, I had a 4 death streak in this game. So I could have at least pulled off 110, 120 kills. Combine that with all the time that was wasted looking for people because my teammates were being jackasses and forced themselves right into the spawn. And I also get a lot of shitty deaths, which is kind of obvious because you're playing Modern Warfare 3 and that shit happens. So what can you do? But guys, again, please leave a like for this video because I'm really trying to grow a little bit, and I do have some very, very good news for you guys, but I'm afraid I can't share it with you just yet. I'm still kind of in dispute, so we'll talk about it in a later video. But please, guys, leave a like. I promise you guys it will pay off for better gameplays. So like I mentioned last game, guys, with my 117-second Moab on Interchange, I talked about a Q&A session. So I do have a couple questions I'd like to answer. And like I said, guys, if you submitted me a question, I'll shout you out. So actually, the first question I got was from Sarcasm. You guys have to check him out. Great YouTuber. He's growing like a motherfucker. Awesome content. So he asks, Love Machine, tits or ass? And to be honest, if I had to choose one, it would be ass. Because an ass, I feel like, kind of determines the shape of the girl, you know, and how she's gonna be as a whole girl. Not just like, some fat girls can have huge tits, and like, that's cool, but they're gonna have like those huge pepperoni, sausage nipples, and you never know what it's gonna look like. So I'd say an ass, because if you get like that nice, round, tight ass, the girl's not going to be a beast, you know, like she may have a butter face, you know, she may work at Shaw's, you know, in the paper bag section, but she's not going to be a horror, you know. If a girl has massive tits, she could be 400 pounds, so I'm going to have to go with ass on that one. Dacky Sking, he asks, what's your favorite game? And to be honest, I just bought a Super Nintendo, and I have to say, guys, my favorite game of all time is Super Mario World or Super Mario All-Stars for the Super Nintendo. And now, I actually never had a Super Nintendo when I was growing up, which is weird, because I'm kind of older, you know, I'm 23, and I never really got games when I was a kid. My parents kind of were like, no, those are for bad kids. And so I was like kind of neglected. But I did end up getting an N64, but I had missed out on Super Mario World. So now I'm catching up, and I got Super Mario World, and that shit is sick, and I love it. So that's probably my favorite game. And he also asked, who's your favorite YouTuber? And you know, that's kind of a disputed thing, but to be perfectly honest, when I really want to watch videos, and I have like an hour to kill, and I want to sit down and watch people, this sounds weird, but I'll watch reruns of CNanner's gameplays. Now, if you guys follow me on Twitter, which I'll leave the link in the description, you'll know that I met CNanners last Friday, and to be honest, his gameplays and his commentaries just kind of like get me in a good mood, you know. It's one of the only commentators who I watch and I'm like, wow, I want to play Call of Duty. Why am I not playing right now? And that's kind of like the mentality that I want to get when I watch these commentators. So, but recently, honestly, up and coming ones, I've been watching Sarcasm a lot, which is no dick riding, no homo, dude, but seriously, I like his a lot, just because he's not really serious, you know, he's just fucking around, but he's got sick gameplays, and he's got really quality content. Another commentator I really have been enjoying lately is Bon Figgy, because as soon as I saw that he Moabbed the Market J, I was like, dude, this kid is hilarious. Like, not only did he Moab Market J, but Dying Soldier 2, I was like, oh my god, dude, that's hilarious. So I've been watching his, because every video that pops up, I'm like, oh, did he Moab like Sea Nanners? That would be hilarious. So Bon Figgy is good too as well. I'll leave his link in the description. And from Twitter, Expect Greatness asked me, why did you start making videos? Now, to be honest, this isn't my first channel that I've had. I'll leave a link in the description. I actually had a channel with my ex-girlfriend when I lived in New York, and that is a pretty funny channel if you guys want to check it out. I had dual comms with her, and we had our video in the top right hand corner so you could see us. And I started it just for fun, you know, just because I was like, wow, I could get some good gameplay sometimes, and I like talking, so let's see what happens, you know. And when I first started on that channel, the comments were the only reason I kept doing it, because we had like 100 subs at the end of all of it after like 3 months, so I was like not doing it for fame or anything at all. I was just doing it for fun, just as I am now. And I was just trying to see what I could get out of people, you know, like if I could interact with them to a certain level. And I really like that about YouTube, you know, you put something out there and people respond, and that's awesome, you know, that's really like my favorite thing about YouTube right now. And the last question is from Be Like Mike on Twitter, and he asks, what was your first relationship like? And guys, if I have to be honest, it was like the picture perfect worst relationship ever. The most unhealthy, unsatisfying relationship in the history of the world. So I was like 16 and a half, and my friend was like, dude, you gotta meet this girl, she's so cool. And I was like so pumped, you know, because I saw her picture on MySpace. This is back in the day, guys. You guys don't even know about MySpace, so this is awesome. But I met her I talked to her on MySpace a little bit, and it was awesome because back then, like, I was 15 and 16, I would just spam the shit out of girls on MySpace. It was hilarious. So this actually worked out. So we met up, and you know, like, first kiss, you know, on the first day, and it was awesome. It was awesome for like the first 2 weeks. And then she turned psycho. I find out she likes like 9-inch nails, and she used to cut herself, and I was like going crazy. But you know, like, I was then afraid to break up with her, so I didn't know what to do. And so every day I'd go over there and I'd be like, you know, like trying to be nice about it and trying to be like coy and let her down easy. And it was really tough. It was really tough because I liked her a lot, like she was gorgeous and all that, but I just didn't want to be involved with someone who is that unstable. And to be honest, at the end of the day, it didn't turn out well. It was a really bad breakup. It was like one of the worst things I could have ever thought of. And the funniest thing is I went to prep school, so I broke up with her over the phone, which isn't as bad as like a text, I guess, but there are a lot better ways I could have broken up with her. And she flipped a shit. She went off the deep end. Like, she had her mom call me, and it was just like a fucking nightmare. And I didn't know what to do because I was at prep school. I was like way up in New Hampshire, and she was down in Boston where I lived. So I was like a little scared to go home. I thought like it was gonna be like a booby trap at home or something. Like, what is she gonna leave for me back there? I didn't know what to do. So I was like a little tentative. When I went home, I was like, Mom, did anything get dropped off the house? Like, what happened? And she's like, oh my God, you'll never believe this, but she was outside the house for at least 2 hours yesterday. I was like, how do you know that? And she's like, remember that her dad's car that you really like? I was like, yeah. She was driving it. And she can't drive a stick, but she was driving her dad's M3. And if you guys know, that's a stick. And she was grinding the shit out of it. And she actually broke down across the street. And she had to get a tow truck to pick her up while she was spying on my house, waiting for me to come back from school. So it was a fucking terrible breakup, because after that, I had enough. And that was a fucking hilarious breakup. If you guys enjoyed the gameplay, could you please leave a like and make sure to subscribe on the top left. I love you guys so much. Have a good weekend, brothers.